Thinking of raising 100 broiler chickens? Here is what no one tells you. Today I'm diving into my latest challenge of raising 100 broiler chickens, which my subscriber put me out. My chicks are 8 days old and I must say I've learned quite a bit along the way, so let's get in it. First off, let's talk about the supplier. This is where it all begins. I found that actually the quality of the chicks can vary greatly depending on who you buy from. So you want to make sure you do your research properly, read reviews, and ask other farmers for recommendations. A good supplier will give you health chicks, and most of them actually give after-sale services, and this will set you up for success from day one. For instance, me, I got recommendations from Mr. Masum Abdallah, whom I have featured on my channel, and he recommended for me someone who has been so supportive since day one. This lady is found in Broiler. For purposes of privacy, she said I shouldn't mention her hatchery, but I want to tell you she's been super helpful, and this is what it means to have your chicks bought from a reputable supplier. Next up is brooder setup. I quickly realized that a well-planned brooder is so crucial. You need enough space for your chicks to move around, eat, and drink without overcrowding. You want to make sure you have proper beddings like wood shavings or coffee hussks, because a well-planned brooder is so important for the growth and health of your chicks. So here is how I set up my brooder for my 100 chicks. I used wood to make the card box, and inside the brooder I put coffee hussks for their beddings, and in there I have 4 feeders and 4 drinkers. As you can see, my chicks have enough space to move around. But something else about the brooder is that as these chicks grow, you have to adjust your brooder, because the space may keep decreasing or becoming smaller for them as they grow up. So my chicks have enough space for moving around, even playing at times, or even resting. So having a well-planned brooder is so important. There are so many ways you can set up your brooder, but that's how I set up mine, and it's been effective for me during this challenge. Now let's talk about temperature control. Broilers require a consistent temperature of between 90 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, and this can be so tricky to maintain, and this has been so challenging to me, especially in the initial days. Now what happens is that I'm using that kind of stove, which happens to be the kind of stove, brooding stove that's on market. Now what happens is the fact that you have to replace this honeycomb briquette before it dies out. But by the time you bring another one and place it on top of this one, the temperature has either risen high, or it has dropped, and this can affect the chicks, or it can stress out the chicks. Now here is the thing. Broilers, if there is a change in temperature, if it's too hot or if it's too cold, it's going to cause them stress, which brings me to another issue of mortality rates. During days 3, 4, and 5, I noticed higher mortality rates, and it was super heartbreaking to see my chicks die. On day 3, I lost 3, and on day 4, I lost 1, and on day 5, I lost 5. But when I made inquiries, I realized it was something which is common. Sometimes deaths are inevitable during the brooding period, partly because of the inadequate temperatures, stress from transport, but also maybe inappropriate feeding. From the loss of my chicks, I learned the importance of closely monitoring the health of my chicks, making sure everyone is having enough water, and making sure the temperature is fine, it's adjustable, it's just suitable for them. Helped me to stabilize the remaining chicks, and yeah, for now we are doing well. Observing the chicks' behavior has also been so fascinating. Each chick has a different personality. Like some are super curious and adventurous, while others stay around food and water. I mean, you actually realize that observing these patterns can give you a clue to their well-being. Like, for example, if they're huddling together, or they're moving, they're not eating much, or they're not playing much, it could indicate a problem. So observing their behavior patterns, it's so important. It's something I have noticed in these few days. Let's talk about size variations. I quickly realized that amongst my chicks, some are growing faster and bigger, while others are still taking it slow during their growth period. This could be partly because of the genetics, the feeds I'm feeding them, by the way, on SR feeds. And then maybe social dynamics. Some are social, some ain't so much social. So it could vary. If you want to make sure you have a uniform size, later on, you can separate these chicks. The big ones, you put them in the same box, and others you put them so that they have equal access to food and water, so that you can avoid future problems. So that's a quick overview of what I've been able to learn in the first 8 days of raising these broiler chicks. It's been a challenging and yet rewarding experience. So if you are planning to start your own flock, remember these key points. Number 1, choose a good supplier. Number 2, set up your brooder properly. Number 3, keep an eye on temperature. Number 4, be aware of mortality rates, especially in the early days, and also be observant of these chicks' behaviors. And lastly, keep watch on their size differences. Thank you so much for joining me on this challenge, and if you have any questions or any tips of your own, please leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like my videos and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. See you in the next video.